said that education is the key to success. The Grenada Development Bank believes this to be the truth, hence the reason we have made it our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you. Our special student loan is in collaboration with the Government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education. Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad. All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%. Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
Government sets aside more than $7 million in the first instance for payments as part of Pension Restoration Initiative. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the National Report, I'm Rakisha St. Louis. Government has set aside an initial sum of $7.2 million to compensate 56 eligible pensioners as part of the Pension Restoration Initiative. Payments could be made as early as the end of this month. This development is the result of months of intense negotiations with unions. Both parties recently reached a partial agreement where government agreed to the payment of pension, including gratuity as well as retroactive payments between April 4th, 1983 and the 21st of February, 1985.
So what is going to happen? Persons between this period who were employed between this period, 1983 to 1985, are going to receive the pensions, who are eligible for pensions, who hold pensionable posts, because not all positions in the public service are pensionable positions. And so this is only for positions that are pensionable positions. So persons who are eligible for pensions are going to receive pensions. And currently we have 56 persons who are eligible to receive pensions. The Ministry of Finance and the Minister of Finance is working diligently to see if we can commence those payments and make those payments, gratuity payments as well, sometime at the end of this month or early August.
Senator Norland Cox, Minister for Youth, Sports, Culture and the Arts, speaking with members of the media during the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing. The Pension Disqualification Act of 1983 established that any person who is appointed to a post in service of the Government of Grenada on or after April 4th, 1983 shall not be entitled to any pension, gratuity or any other allowance under the Pensions Ordinance, Pensions Prison Officers Ordinance, Pensions School Teachers Ordinance and Police Pensions Ordinance. Senator Cox says for those who came in the service after 1985, they have not yet come to any conclusion on how their matter will be treated, but discussions are ongoing. Meanwhile, government will also be making a substantial payout in the area of public assistance, with the monthly contribution per household being increased from $200 to $300, an increase of $100. Like the payment for pension, it is expected that this will also be done from the end of this month. Government makes another huge investment in the agriculture sector with the establishment of a farm labor support, which seeks to resuscitate dormant farmlands. That announcement was made by Senator the Honorable Winston Garwe, Minister of State with responsibility for disaster management and information, during the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing. According to Garwe, hundreds of traditional crops, including nutmeg, will be planted to obtain new markets and sustain existing ones.
Some 50 acres of lands have been earmarked for source-up production. We're looking at some 10,000 plants. Also, cocoa, we're looking at some 50 acres of lands to be cultivated with some 15,000 plants. We're looking at nutmeg, the black gold. 100 acres have been earmarked, some 5,000 plants we're looking to cultivate. And avocados, 50 acres, some 2,500 plants.
He said the government's debushing program will be extended to give support to the farm labor program. It is anticipated that hundreds of jobs will be created through this expansion.
Expanded the debushing program towards assisting in the farm labor support. And that we think is a very important initiative because, as we all agree, agriculture is one of the mainstay, and government is very passionate about ensuring that agriculture continue to strive and our people benefit from it. Not only will the program, the farm labor support, provide benefits to our farmers, but given that unemployment is a challenge in our rural areas, it is expected that the program will contribute to the government's effort to tackling poverty and unemployment, providing jobs which will support rural development.
This is the National Report. More news when we return.
Look up now! Watch up now! My name is Sheldon Olive, better known as Boise, better known as the Madras, your cultural ambassador, 4-time Soca Monarch of Grenada, 2 times OECS Monarch and 2 times Road Match, inviting you to Spice Mass 2018. This will be the one to experience. Well, Carnival Friday night is the biggest night because guess what? 1 stage, 1 night, 2 competitions, groovy and power. And guess what? Your artist may be the one. You never know. Come out and see who take the title. Foreigners come down to see it. Enough vibes, enough energy. Rag, flag, bandanas. It's pandemonium on that night, so you don't know. I mean, I will be defending on that night, so make sure and be there. Carnival Friday night, Soca Monarch. Number 5. John! They put your hand up in the air. Rag up in the air. Put your flag up in the air. Put the gun up in the air. Put the gun. 1, 2, put the gun. So come on.
Welcome back. 6 Grenadians will leave here on Wednesday for the annual Canadian Farm Workers Program. This will bring the total number to 69, with 63 Grenadians already employed on various farms in Canada. Acting Senior Labour Officer Mrs. Elizabeth Pivot Cyrus says they are currently preparing a batch of new applicants, but they do not yet have a date for their departure, although she believes it could be in September. She spoke of the success of the program.
In very many cases, we have very good success stories because we have persons who have been going for a number of years. They are over 60 and the farmer still requests them.
GIS spoke with a few of the workers, all of whom are returning and looking forward to the experience once again.
Just get a passion for it. Make up your mind that every year you have a work to go back to. I feel good about it.
For me, it's a good experience, you know. I mean, it can help you. It's up to you to go out there and try to work and represent your country, you know what I mean? It's a good thing, it's a good thing.
I feel excited because, I mean, I ain't expecting to come back up, well, to go back up.
It has been a good experience so far, going on the farm program. Yeah, well, for me, the experience was, you know, good.
And finally, Shondell Amede, known in the Calypso world as Dash, has topped the list of semi-finalists following 4 days of preliminary action. He scored 222 points with his song Wild Up, followed closely in second position by Looney Spark and Electrify with 221 points with their song Mashup Challenge. Pappy Boy placed third, followed by Muddy, Alma Boy, Killer Bee, Little Natty and Thunder, Boogie Bee, Happy Boy and Little Kerry in the 10th position. 124 soca artists took to the stage over the 4-day period, with 32 of them being selected for the semi-final, which will be held on Friday, July 27th. Some of the artists who made it to the semi-final round say they look forward to a very competitive Soca Monarch 2018.
The competition go nice. You understand? Big up to every artist. We're working hard, you understand? Talking from an artist point of view, I know the hard work and dedication artists put into their music now. You understand? So every artist coming to deliver with it. Whatever the judge's decision is, it's final.
Well, this particular piece called Wild Up, I choose it specifically for the prelims because my Soca Monarch tune is not ready as yet. So I say this was the only one I had what fit the occasion. So I come deliver tonight. And the people enjoyed high energy performance. All they see me panting after. Yeah, I give it already. I doesn't hold back. I treat everything as a finals.
And as we have it here, you are the reigning monarch for the Groovy. Recently, a few days ago, you would have dropped the Groovy tune, and I think you did a smart thing as to drop it with a video.
Yeah, well, ever since I started doing music and I started getting like a recognition in Grenada and abroad, everyone challenged me to bring visuals to my music, so I decided I will make it a special occasion. This is the third one, I'm going for history, so I decided to bring visuals to help boost the song, so just waiting for Groovy Night to just put on the works now.
Definitely, I mean, it's also go there execute, you know the criteria, you know what's to be done, you know, at this point in the season we're in the first week in July, so you know a lot of the songs, especially the Soca Monarch songs, will be brand new. So it's just to go there, execute and make sure that you deliver so the judges get the story and the picture of what you're trying to portray, play a mass and enjoy yourself.
Congratulations are in order for all those moving on to the semi-final round of competition. Let's recap today's top story. Government sets aside more than $7 million in the first instance for payments as part of Pension Restoration Initiative. On behalf of the entire news team who made this newscast possible, I'm Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened. I'm not afraid no more. The Father bless me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David turns Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them.
Watch us on time to that separation.
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
And I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, indeed, and this is Hard Talk. We're trying to there's a press conference being held by the Royal Grenada Police Force. We're trying to bring it to you, but the audio isn't coming through. Let's just see if the audio is coming through clear. Yeah, we're trying to see if we get the audio clear enough. If we get the audio clear enough, we'll bring it for you. Other than that, we'll have to broadcast what it is being said afterwards. So let's try again. Oh boy, they haven't quite begun yet, but we'll try to see how we could get it a little clear for you in a while. So my name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, indeed, and this is Hard Talk. We're live on 97.5 City Sound FM.
And 89.5 CRFM.
Yeah, 92.9 out there in Carriacou. The Sister Als, the beautiful Sister Als. Yeah, regatta coming up, man. Yeah, Sister Als.
And We Vibes Radio, 94.9 Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah. And the thing is that everybody listening in Brooklyn and trying to get flight right now, it's rough, boy. It's rough.
It's rough, eh?
It's rough. We know it's rough. We know
I
it's rough.
have a charter flight with about 400 seats, but
boy, nah, I tell you, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
Boy, that's how it is around this time. It's summertime. Most people want to get out.
Mr. Tech, we could use our audio, fine. We could use the audio. All right, so folks, let's just go over to the Royal Grenada Police Force for a little while. They have a live press conference going on, so let's just bring that to you, and then we'll be back with Hard Talk.
Gratitude to the Governor General, the government, and the Public Service Commission for their demonstrated confidence in me to lead the RGPF at this point in time. Notwithstanding the sense of accomplishment with this appointment, I do feel the enormity of responsibility, accountability, and expectations to both the RGPF and the public. I acknowledge that this era of my leadership must ensure the legacy of safety and security inherited from my predecessors. I accept this responsibility with humility, confidence, and optimism. My confidence is grounded not only in my personal preparation, but more importantly by the fact that I'm surrounded and supported by some of the most brilliant, committed, loyal, and professional officers in the region. I also accept this responsibility, fully cognizant of the dynamic, complex, and multifaceted nature of the global security and crimogenic environment in which we live. I understand that at the macro level, we are challenged by the threats of organized criminal activity, the potential for dispersed acts of terrorism, and asymmetric technological crimes such as cybercrime. We are also threatened by climate change and the probability for the increase in the frequency and strength of natural disasters. At the domestic level, I am aware of the ubiquitous sore of sexual crimes, the plague of predial larceny, and the carnage of violent crimes, all of which will be given priority. Other areas of priority will include health and wellness of the RGPF, as well as the public perception of the force image and traffic. I am also aware of the growing demands for the force to become more transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of the public. I understand that this dynamic and evolving environment requires a modern police force that is sufficiently focused, trained, and resourced. Consequently, building on the solid foundation of my predecessors, the initial focus of this era will be on force modernization, which will include a greater emphasis on the integration of technology into law enforcement, a restructuring of departments to achieve a better alignment with contemporary realities and future threats. Two of the immediate initiatives you will see in this is the creation of Sexual Crimes Unit and a Cyber Crimes Unit. We will build on our community policing philosophy by adopting an integrated policing strategy, one that combines intelligence-led and predictive policing approaches to achieve greater efficacy in our crime prevention efforts. Through training, we will seek to redefine the image and perception of the new police officer to one that will reflect competence, professionalism, and integrity. An officer with a refined sense of discretion and compassion, while at the same time firm and decisive in response to violations of the law. Significant emphasis will be placed on improving productivity and working conditions. Improved productivity here does not simply imply more arrests and issuance of tickets, but rather improved performance in our ability to prevent crimes from occurring in the first place, and improvement in our efforts to better support victims of crime when they do occur, as well as improving our efforts to prevent acts of recidivism from amongst ex-offenders. Additionally, greater focus will be given to improving the working conditions of officers and to ensure that they are well equipped to perform their duties. Permit me here to recognize the hard work of dedicated members of the RGPF, who on a daily basis makes tremendous personal sacrifices to keep Grenada safe. It is largely due to the unabated and relentless effort in pursuit of criminals that our solving rate for reported crimes stands at an average of 72.5% over the last 5 years, an accomplishment admired by many. This level of dedication and productivity must be harnessed going forward. So to my fellow officers, you are the RGPF's most valuable asset. And to be successful, we will need your energy, commitment, and creativity. I ask for your dedication to duty, your integrity, courage, competence, and restraint. I ask that you show respect for the police force, yourself, each other, and the community. I expect you to be leaders in your home, on the job, and in the community. The public's image and perception of the force rests largely on our conduct and behavior. In this context, I expect that you not only refrain from misconduct, but that you actively do everything possible to prevent it. Additionally, it is our responsibility to administer justice in a manner that inspires confidence and create a sense of safety, fairness, and security in the community. To our community, I want to say that while we remain privileged to have not suffered from the inundation of global security threats facing many countries of the world, this reality should not evoke complacency, but rather trigger a passionate collaborative response to preserve our competitive advantage of safety and security. In this context, we will seek genuine partnership with the community. We recognize fully that we are nothing without your support. As a matter of fact, 80% of our success can be directly attributed to support of the community. In return, I promise an open, accountable, and accessible police force that will be responsive to your concerns. I assure you, community policing will continue to be the enduring philosophy of the RGPF and will remain the driving force in all our activities. There is no turning back from the principles of community policing, public trust, and legitimacy in policing. These will remain ingrained in the DNA of the RGPF policing strategy. Please note, for crime to strive, it needs the silence of the community and the neglect of law enforcement. Therefore, to achieve our mutual goal of sustainable, safer communities, we must work together to build a coalition against criminality in all its forms. I am convinced that there will be no hiding place for criminals when the community stands firmly together with law enforcement against crime. There is no room for spectatorship on matters of public safety. It is no longer an option for us to sit on the sidelines and allow criminals to create mayhem in our communities. Too many times, serious crimes are referred to as sad and unfortunate tragedies, when in fact, they were inevitable outcomes of bad choices, misguided individuals, and a lack of community intervention. Meaningful public safety can only be achieved through deeper collaboration between the community and law enforcement. We must all play our part and break the silence on crime in all its forms. Our future and the future of this country should not be determined by scaremongering and pessimism postulated by prophets of doom with agendas, but rather defined by our collective choices and collaborative response to community ills and crime. The RGPF will stand with you, the community, and continue to be firm and robust in our crime control efforts. Finally, to the very few in our society whose behavior and attitude gives eloquent testimony to a base defiance and burning contempt for law and order, and whose daily motive it is to distress, disrespect, and deprive citizens by instilling fear and robbing them of their peace, property, and freedom, I strongly suggest that you rethink that game plan. For there is no place for such insolence and revolting impertinence in our society. Further, the RGPF will be relentless and tenacious in its efforts to protect and preserve the tranquility and way of life of the citizens of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, there is much to be done. And so I am asking you today for your support as we begin to roll up our sleeves and put our shoulders to the wheel so that together, police, stakeholders, and community, we can work to preserve our beautiful nation's competitive advantage of safety and security. I thank you.
At this point, Commissioner would allow a couple of questions, and, especially focusing on the areas that he mentioned.
I recognize that you're going.
Cultivation. When come to morning, I didn't have it. I went by gym for credit. The woman said to put up a fight. She said all your police please bright. Run the money, run the money, run the money, run the money. If you not do have money now, I hope you do.
All right, folks. Yeah, that was the commissioner, acting commissioner of police, Mr. Edwin Martin, and he was, basically the man was reading the rat act there. The man laid down.
He laid down.
Yeah, in other words, we could put everything into a few words, no joking.
He definitely
Serious
would be
business.
a hands-on person, and he will take after his predecessor, definitely.
So he's given his charge to the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, the various units, and he has also given his charge to the general public as well. Yeah, take the police officers seriously. Man ain't joking this thing. Yeah, so it's serious business. All right. Excuse me, 440-7377. That's 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yeah, we open up the
open
thing.
The line as early as
opening up the thing, right? Nice. So 440. Yeah. So Miss Jacob, we hope that you enjoyed your birthday yesterday. We hope that you had a wonderful one. Yeah. And folks, Cammy have a little sale going on, so rush on down there because you never could tell them. Next thing you go down there looking for something and the thing done. Go and check the lady. Go and check her. And watch, if you find you run too much and all kind of thing, and you're gonna get out of breath, she had a little drink and thing, you could buy a little drink.
Get a little drink there right there on the spot,
Run down and check Cammy. Nice.
Hey, folks, and also to hey, you thinking about registering to partake in this carnival? Why, Helen?
Yeah, man. Check
Morning.
Elementra.
Elementra for you.
Elementra, and plus, you remember she has a children's band, Candyland. So you could go and your children could play in the Candyland and that kind of thing, and you could play in the big people thing.
Yeah, choices you got. Choices.
On Tuesday, everybody could play together. You could play in your section, your children in the section.
Family affair.
What they say, get in your section?
Yeah.
Yeah, get in your section.
not in section, get in your section.
Not an injection, but get in your section.
Good morning to Upper Level. Yeah, promotion. Peter Bain and Nola Bain. Yeah, you guys doing a pretty good work there in the launch of the, your Carnival band and so.
Nice.
Keep going.
Nice. And let's say a special good morning to all of you on the live this morning. Morning to you. So you just joined Brenda Cleveroy. Well, not Cleveroy, Depot, right? Brenda, Vic. Yeah, see all of you on this one. Let me go back to my normal thing. I find I ain't seen day when I was using this one day. So
Vicky, enjoy your holiday and tell my big sister say hi.
Yeah, I mean, I understand how the thing go. Nice, right? Yeah. So just making sure I have the right thing there. Nice, right? So now I've seen everybody. Right, so I seen the Brendas, I seen Depot, I seen Vic, Devon, I see you there too. So I seen everybody on Hannah, Matthew, Leslie, Zephyrin, James, Claire, Dali. Good morning to you. Yes, Mrs. Thomas, good morning to you. Hazel, good morning to you as well. Hope you all are having a fabulous day today. Hope everything is going your way. The Ministry of Health, remember, the Vector Control Division, they are continuing the fogging program. So today they'll be in St. Paul's and the environs of St. Paul's. So St. Paul's people, yeah, those are you just up the road there, right? Look out for them. Watch out. I feel we might have to, we St. Paul's too. We could qualify.
Yeah, well,
just say an environs. We say an environs.
So it's possible you could be part of the environment.
Yeah. So Vector Control hit us up too, eh? Yeah, give us a little fog. Oh, yeah. Last week we were seeing some mosquito inside here and thing, but we have a lizard there.
Yeah, lizard. What a lizard bad.
Yeah, boy. Natural pest control. Yeah, lizard inside here.
Sandfly and all getting it, you know.
Boy, not that boy pass cross. That lizard dealing with everything.
Wait, man, I seen just now the belly big.
Yeah. A good little fella. Yeah, wrong. Natural pest control.
That's the fourth member of the studio.
Yeah, he's my member of staff right now and getting real food.
and you know the color of the lizard, right?
Boy.
Oh God.
So Vector Control.
Yes.
Yeah. They'll be in St. Paul's and environs today, so you can look out for them. So that means areas like Laborie and so on and St. Paul's and things. Look out for them up on the greens, and so look out for the Vector Control people. They'll be doing their fogging, carrying out a fogging program up in the St. Paul's area from 5 p.m. today. Look out for them during the day today. They'll be passing around informing people as well, but they'll be coming this evening from 5 p.m. just in case you leave home, you're on work and so, and they're passing around to say that they're coming. Right. Yep. So we telling you for them. That's why they give us the information. Yeah. And tomorrow, Lagoon Road, they're coming your way tomorrow from 5 p.m. tomorrow. So Lagoon Road and environs. So all by we partner there in Gleen's Garage, they was in him again. All by Rapier and the next one day, man. The one from Bayulan constituency day. Yeah, but them two fellas and them down there. Yeah, for all them we partners by Gleen's Garage. Good morning to you. Proby. Yeah, Proby and next one name slipping me now, man.
All they definitely getting a spray down.
Yeah, they go real fog all up there. They go fog up the place, right?
Understand?
Yeah. So
hey, good morning to all the persons in Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply. Yeah, in Grenville and St. Andrews. Zephyrin, good morning.
Zephyrin, you pain?
Yeah, I mean
pain?
Zephyrin,
pain. Yeah, cash.
Zeph.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, boy. And his is the Englishman. You know, today is that game between England and Croatia. Yeah, England and Croatia, they should be playing today. I think they're starting at 11, I think it is. Yeah, so England.
It looked like
good old England will be going up against Croatia.
France.
Yeah, but Croatia dread, eh?
Croatia dread. Are very, I mean, they stumped everybody.
The thing with the English is, the English don't try that. You're heading to the World Cup, you're too hypocrite. Whole week before, you're saying that all the plane waiting for the England team, all of a sudden, you're an Englishman. Yeah. They don't try that.
Yeah.
We know you're a born Englishman, but don't try that one. You're too hypocrite. I go pull back them posts and them, you know. Don't play again and try and delete it. Yeah? Mm-hmm.
Croatia go stomp all you. Yeah, for real. I mean, France was never, none of the four teams are my favorite, but once I have to back, I was looking at Belgium and Croatia. Belgium got stomped out.
The best thing is this, all for the good of the game. I think that's what, at the end of the day, football must win.
Yeah, they play the best.
At the end of the day, football must win.
Definitely.
So, folks, just remember, in St. Paul's and environs, the fogging team, Vector Control, they'll be in your area today to address the mosquito issues and so. And they'll be passing around during the day looking for areas that they need to throw the little tablet and thing and sort out. And they'll be following up with some fogging later.
And the rat food, they also pass around and give you some little, little pieces of rat food, and so that helps.
Right. Folks, also remember the Dock Challenge Trophy. So there's a match going to be taking place this Saturday. So that's going to be St. John versus St. Andrew Southeast at the Victoria Park in Grenville. I don't have the exact time. But main office, you need to send over the time for me. Yeah, I would assume it's 2 o'clock. But they have lights, so they could also play in the night. But I'd assume that it's 2 o'clock. But I'll confirm that for you all. So that would be taking place on Saturday. The Inland Revenue Department, they're reminding you of the taxes, that are payable at the end of July. Don't get in trouble with the tax, man. Go on, pay your tax, pay your tax. So the deadline on the 2nd of July, that gone already. That deadline for the 5% rebate on your property tax. In other words, if you had paid your property tax early, and you had to get back your 5%. The deadline to get that back was last week. That was the 2nd. Yeah, so that gone. Forget that. Right? We will keep that. We'll work with you. Nice, nice, right. Pay as you earn and withholding tax. That was due on Monday. Gaming tax was due yesterday. Yeah, so those are you running the little gaming places and you ain't pay your local kakada. Yeah, right now you're operating illegally. Go and pay. All right, and you got to pay your late fee and them kind of thing. But go and pay. Sort out yourself.
This thing adds up, so
go and pay.
Try your best.
Value-added tax and excise tax return due payable. That's on the 20th, right? So your returns for your value-added tax and excise tax, that is due on the 20th. The 30th corporate income tax returns due for businesses with fiscal year ending on the 30th of April 2018. And on the 31st of this month, personal income tax due and payable, corporate income tax and annual stamp tax installments due and payable. All right. So you never know. You might those are you that pay the personal income tax. You never know. You might be hearing some good news. You should be hearing some good news. Might be hearing some good news.
Hinson, go to work now, boss.
That big brother of mine.
He had to show up.
But Hinkson go to work. Hinkson. All right. Nice. I sure he may messaging from work. No any. That man does leave for work. When I enjoy that.
We take a break.
Brother, when I enjoy that, this guy 4 o'clock in the morning, he gone. Yeah, for where he does work, he works on some of the fertilizer plant, the oil factory and those different kind of places and so on. He has be up on them towers and all kind of things. So sometime 4 o'clock in the morning, he gone. Yeah, you're looking for him and he's gone already because he's going to another part of Trinidad to go and do that. So morning. Yeah, Englishman, don't try that about is your goat mouth that had MD. Yeah, the hypocrite mouth. That is what happened to you. You don't support England. When England nearly get you now, you're looking to support them now. We don't want you. Stay with it.
But it has been an exciting World Cup thus far.
Yeah,
in terms of the results. And that's football.
Yeah, it's the thing is, you can't look down on any team that is at the World Cup for the mere fact that they are at the World Cup.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be surprising to see any team at the World Cup beat another team.
Exactly.
It should not be surprising, and I'm saying that because they're at the World Cup. So they're expected to be of a certain quality. They're expected to be of a certain standard to have made it to the World Cup. They didn't get a blight.
No, they didn't get a blight. They work hard for it.
They work and they get it. They get to the World Cup, and as such, you have to expect that they have the possibility of beating any other team that's at the World Cup as well, no matter how much stars they have in the team.
Any other team.
Yeah,
and football is a game that is played on the field. You could be the best set of names all over, but when you get on that field, the best team win.
Mm-hmm.
And that for that team to win, they had to score goals.
Yes, indeed.
A 1-0 hurts, but hey, what you can do? You know?
Devon, let me ask you though, do you think that a Grenada team could make it to the World Cup?
At this point in time, perhaps I'll give them another 10 years to build a good...
Another 10?
Yeah, to build a good...
I'm saying another 20.
Well, I mean, we have some young footballers right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the secondary schools and so on. Some of them, yeah. And I think with good coach, good support, and everything like that, yeah, perhaps next 2-3 World Cups, you may see Grenada knocking on that door. It's possible.
I think that with some of the developmental work that's taking place with the Grenada Football Association now, you have courses, and those of you may not know, but the Grenada Football Association, they have constant courses going on nearly every month. They have a lot of people in Grenada who are qualified to an international level in various aspects of football. And I'm not talking here just about coaching. I'm also talking about officiating and different areas. So we have loads of people here that are internationally certified. Yeah? At various levels. You're seeing some guys going there and they're certified. Yeah, they have people that come in from FIFA, come in from CONCACAF and so and do training here. In fact, there might even be one going on now because they always have going on. So that is taking place. Also, you would realize that, as I always say, one of the first association to come in and meet with us in 2013 on coming in as the ministers with responsibility for sport and the parliamentary secretariat Ministry of Sport would have been Chenny Joseph and the hierarchy of the Grenada Football Association. And that was to ensure that we did not lose that money that was there for that lighting project in St. Patrick. So you have fun right now, or fun. Some people say fun, some people say fun. That project that has been done there and they lighted up. And then you also have that situation where we would have made sure that the Grenada Football Association got that land so that they can build their headquarters. So now you see them with their headquarters right in Queen's Park there. The Grenada Football Association, a very modern building. Yeah. It seems that you may be asking, no, but how does that help with the football? But that helps.
Oh, yeah, that helps.
That helps because they can administer and coordinate properly instead of just a room at the National Stadium. They have their own building, and so they could carry out their conferences. They could carry out everything at their own facility. And on top of that, they have been involved in development around the island. They would have done that fencing in Queen's Park for Queen's Park Ground 2 over by the school there. Although some people damaged the fencing
already.
Yeah. Also, they would have done that fencing on Montrouge as well. They would have upgraded and done that fencing at Montrouge. There was a bathroom that they should have done as well. I don't know what happened with that one. It didn't come through. But they had the possibility of doing a bathroom facility there as well. They're doing the grassroots program, which is the important one, which is why I'm saying 20 years. Because I think some of the children that are being born now, many of them are going to do, well, all of them are going to do great things for Grenada. But if we take the approach of starting to get them as soon as they could walk and realize they're only behind a ball, and you get them, that's one aspect, the grassroots program. And I'm saying this is what the Grenada Football Association is doing. I'm not saying anything that Chenny and the guys are not doing. So you have the grassroots program, so you capture them early. We have a lot of children right now in the grassroots program in the ages of 8, 9, 10 going there.
Even younger.
So in 20 years from now, they're still in the 20s. They're 28, 27, that sort of age there. They're still young, really. And we could have some 18 and 19-year-olds inside there as well, and maybe some 31, 32-year-olds that would be inside there. And with a developmental program, it's one thing, but the other aspect of it is to start getting a lot of our local footballers to play internationally. Yeah, you see like how Trinidad got Dwight York over to Ashton Villa. Well, Dwight York really get Dwight York over to Ashton Villa. Trinidad didn't get him over to Ashton Villa. The guy had talent, right? So he got himself over to Ashton Villa. But if there's the possibility for us start getting some Grenadian footballers out of Grenada and into some of those clubs in Europe especially. Now, I ain't too busy with the region here. Europe, that is where I want some of them go. In the English league. Yeah, in the German league, what is called the Bundesliga. Yeah, get some, even in Russia. Right? Get some of the Grenadian footballers to get out there and get that exposure, get that experience and that sort of thing. Because if you're a Caribbean country and all you play against is other Caribbean countries and nobody making it outside of Jamaica and Trinidad who made it once each, nobody making it even halfway to the World Cup, it doesn't make sense. You have to get games and get experience against bigger teams and so on. And when you get experience against bigger teams, it also raises your ranking. That's why some people may wonder why countries like Mexico and so on, they want to play against Grenada, you know. Because if by a fluke they get a cocktail, it's going to affect their international rating. While Grenada's rating is going to go up, it's going to affect their rating and their rating is going to go down. So that's why some big teams, that doesn't want to play against smaller teams or teams that are not high in the ranking as Grenada, because to get licks there or even draw there is going to affect their ranking in a serious way. While it improves the ranking of the other team, it's going to damage theirs, so they don't want to play. What Jack Warner, with all his demons, got to do in Trinidad was he was able to get Trinidad to play against various teams and so on, get experience and get people outside of Trinidad, create a professional league within Trinidad itself so that they could have had a certain category and quality of football being played in Trinidad that would have propelled them to the World Cup.
He used one thing I liked about Jack Warner though. He used some of FIFA money very good in terms of the development of football within Trinidad.
FIFA money wasn't the problem, nah?
No, I know what I'm saying. he had access, but he utilized it good and gave Trinidad a nice break in terms of the exposure and different. So, but in Grenada, for example, I mean back let's say 40, 50 years, well in 30 years, we had a number of good players. But the good thing about it now, what we didn't have then, we have it now. One headquarters, and we have a much better structure, right? Much more persons employed doing the business of the Football Association. So you have much more being done, right? And a lot more can be done.
They're running it.
And so.
But I think we still have a ways to go. I've said it to the Football Association before, and I continue to say it. I think the clubs need to be run more professionally. The clubs need to you can't have clubs, I mean, you're getting relegated. You're losing, what do you call it again? You're getting relegated out of the Premier League and all this. You can't have that kind of thing happening. But the clubs need to operate more professionally. For instance, it is my personal belief, that the Paradise ground should be in the hands of Paradise Football Club. They should be they should be responsible for that place, not Paradise ground. What do you call it again? Progress Park. Should be in the hands of Paradise.
That's in Telescope, eh?
Yeah, but it should be that's why I correct myself and ask what's the name of the ground. That playing field, or even the Simone playing field, should be in the hands of the Paradise Football Club.
That's one. That's about right.
And here's what should happen there. They should be the ones that you go to, you want permission to use the playing field, you ask them for permission to use the playing field, you pay them. And they should use that money to develop the playing field, whether it's pavilions, whether it's a conference center, whether it's other facilities there. They should be able to run that as a business and be able to develop the club itself financially and otherwise. And also they need to get into merchandising. Nobody's supposed to leave to come and watch a game at Paradise and they don't have the Paradise shirt, or they don't have the Paradise cap, or the vehicle don't have a little sticker for Paradise FC. And that should be the same when it comes to Queen's Park Strikers. No matter which Fontenoy, Hurricane, no matter which club it is, it should be a situation that they have a field or a facility, because when you look at American baseball, they had a ground. You look at American basketball, they have the facility. You look at football in the United Kingdom, they have the different stadiums and so on, the stadium and different things. This one have that stadium, this one have that stadium. And they run the entire thing as a business. It can't be that fellas just go and you kick some ball and then you go and you do all kind of thing, and when they're ready for you again, you drink rum, you do this, you do that, and when they're ready for you to go and play again, you come out and play. If we continue with that mindset, we ain't reaching no World Cup.
No.
We have to take this thing professionally. Yeah, and Depot, there's one time I do agree with you. 40 years ago, they like Alistair Telesford, the George brothers, Paul Roberts, Yankee Man, Sampat, Motel, Big Dog, Jackson, and others. I still don't think we'd have reached the World Cup back then, because we still were not taking this thing professional. While we may have had quality players, and yes, all dog bad in the yard, bad here in Grenada. But if you had put them up against an English side, what would have happened? In 40 years ago, you put them up against England 40 years ago. You put them up against Germany 40 years ago. You put them up against Sweden 40 years ago. What would have happened with them? Within the Caribbean, they might have beat everybody in the Caribbean, but they did not have that international exposure. And I think that's what we need to start getting for a lot of our younger players. We need to start drafting in players who are now in different leagues, be it in the United States, Canada, the UK, Germany, wherever, and they have Grenadian connection, Grenadian heritage. We need to start dragging them
to play the professional ball, right? Yeah.
Get them to play on behalf of Grenada. But the problem is this. Sometimes they may have a contract out there, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And you go in and leave that to come and play for Grenada, and then when you play for Grenada,
you get injured
you get injured for a side that have no chance of reaching the World Cup or something, and then you lose what you have there. So there has to be some sort of incentive.
Contract, yeah. It has to be.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of incentive to it.
And you know what's good too, for us here in Grenada, most of the clubs, almost every club, major football club in Grenada, has a ground within its area.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? I mean, football-sized ground. You look at all the parishes based on the development that this government has been doing over the last how many years. You see the different grounds being developed, right, to the size of professional football and cricket and whatever. So that is there. So we don't have a hindrance with that. Club structures.
In my view, as I said, I think that the different playing fields should be in the hands of different teams, and that's used to develop them into professional organizations. Part of the agreement should be that the government has the right to use the field. Once no major thing is taking place, the government has the right to use the field whenever, so that you can't just lock out everybody from it totally and decide that you're going to spite somebody and letting them use it. But I think that different teams should have responsibility over different playgrounds and develop it.
Exactly. Major ones.
I think that's how we need to go.
And that's the way to go. That will enable them, give them more independence and so to do a lot of things.
And it's going to take serious money to get to the World Cup as well. Serious money.
Yeah.
You can't have fellas going and lay blocks in the day and go to represent Grenada in the afternoon.
No. They have to be employed full time.
You can't have a guy that go in and mix cement and drop a 12-inch block on his foot, and you have a game to represent Grenada, to fly out to represent Grenada in Panama in 2 weeks. We can't have that going on.
Or even his finger going and pong hammer on top of a roof and his finger getting bust. And his finger, and you know footballers play with your foot, but his finger is very important. How you go throw the ball? I mean, the comfort, you know, all these things you have to take into consideration in the development of football and so in Grenada. But I think at this point in time, we are on the right track. We have been seeing a lot being done from the national, point of view. GFA has taken the lead, and so I'm led by Chenny Joseph.
Yeah, I think they've been doing a good job.
You know, I mean, gone are the days when I know Ambrose Phillip used to be General Secretary of football, and so we had no home for football, if you understand. I mean, these guys were doing excellent job in terms of administrating and so, but there was no home. The club structures was not, up to mark. The finances and so, the support for football wasn't there. No, I would have loved to see still even somebody as Ambrose Phillip with his administrative skills and his know-how for football being back again involved in either a club or even right back in helping GFA in some form, yes, based on the experience. Ashley Ram folks. And so it's,
But also develop that new category of people. Yeah. Let's take a call. I think somebody's trying to get you. But
good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning,
Curtis.
Hey, Curtis.
Mr. Carrico is there.
Yes, sir.
Why Sister Island bring Hard Talk?
We would have no idea.
Yeah.
Huh?
We have no idea.
We'll
have to call them.
We'll find out.
Where to find out me?
No. I say we will. We will find out.
All right, find out for me, please, because that's probably waiting and listening to the morning.
Okay.
All right.
No problem, brother.
We'll do that.
Okay, my brother.
All right. One
Take
love.
care, buddy.
Good.
Sometimes it's just a little technical problem on their end. So I'll just message them in a while and see if we could get through to them and see what's going on in Carriacou. But yeah, so we can do it. We can do it. In the same context too, we can have more medals coming in the Olympics,
Oh yeah, much more.
We can have much more medals coming in the Olympics, but
and we are on the way.
Yeah.
We are on the way.
But the developmental aspect of it cannot be. And yes, Depot, it's diet, nutrition.
Yeah.
It cannot be a situation that a man is a professional athlete and just go in and drink a pile of rum and eat all kind of food and all kind of thing, and then want to train 2-3 weeks before he had to go out and represent Grenada. We can't have that. We cannot have that. Yeah? The Jamaicans take this thing very seriously.
Very.
When they look at you in primary school and they realize, man, you set for life, they realize you could run.
Start you early.
Them big businesses come and they're making sure that you have a home, they're making sure you have a house, they're making sure you have a vehicle, they're making sure you have everything. Look, we have people out there right now like Anderson Peters, Josh Boateng, Kurt Felix, Lyndon Victor, yeah, people that we know, Candisha Scott, yeah, Markham Felix, people that we know in our minds. If we're looking at their progression, we know that these people, any one of them, together with Braylon Taplin and Karani James, can go to the next Olympic Games and possibly bring a medal home.
Yep.
It's a possibility. They can go and bring a medal home. But how many businesses step forward and say, well, let's see the state of the house that they're living in, if we could help them? How many businesses step in and say, we're willing to contribute $14,000 building material to help you? So when you're out there representing Grenada, you could know that your parents comfortable. You could know that your mother and father are comfortable. Government has to come and do it.
Yeah, it always has to be government. Why always government?
No, in Jamaica, you know, them Jamaicans don't joke that the billion. Watch, yeah. You're just hearing somebody come and knock and hand you a key. Your house is over, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, they come and they make sure that you have a proper vehicle to move from location to location. Yeah, because they know that when that person blows up on the international scene, they would never forget the people who take care of them when they was a little unknown. Exactly. So they take care of them. We know people like Josh Boateng. Now Josh is discus and shot put, and the guy is world standard. Yeah, you have people like, well, we've seen what Kurt Felix can do. He has already medaled at international games. We've seen Lyndon Victor medal at international games, the brothers. Yeah, we've seen Anderson Peters with that consistent improvement, and Markham Felix as well, and Candisa Scott. And yet still, just leave it up to the government. What about the business community?
It has to get involved.
Yeah?
Has to get involved. It's very important.
We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. We there.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, morning.
You're live.
Go
right ahead.
Yes, morning.
Brother Sheldon Devon, I share the sentiment with the acting Commissioner of Police. I do believe when we as the public and the police come together and we respect one another, we could share information of what of illegal thing, the crime, the thing that is happening in our village and our community. I want to say kudos to the acting commissioner of police, Mr. Edwin Martin, because he analyzing this police officer. I know that he did a very good job, and he is one of the police officers that loves the country, and we see that, want to see everything going good in our country. I want to say kudos to the acting commissioner of police, Mr. Martin. I want to say again, we as the public, we have to work together with police. We have to respect the police, and the police have to respect one another. Once we show that respect and love for one another, crime in Grenada will always be at its low point. I want to say, as he continues to be act and do what he's supposed to do, I want to say every one of the police officers will stand together with him for the betterment of our country. Whatever, Sheldon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
All right, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Yeah, and somebody just sent a message there. Chris is asking, well, not that Chris, another Chris, is asking, do you think there should be a West Indies football team similar to cricket who represents the Caribbean? Do you think they will find a higher caliber of players from different islands? If we do that, we win the World Cup. No, if we do that, we win the World Cup.
But I don't think, you see, one of the problems that
but nobody want to do that.
But the pool of talent that we have within the Caribbean, you won't get that unity.
No, you will get, man. If we just get it with cricket, we will get it with football.
You don't even get it with cricket.
You mean a West Indies football team? Or not?
Yeah, you won't get it with football. You're not getting it in cricket. How will you get it in football?
But I beg to differ. I feel you might get it. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a good suggestion. It could be something good.
A West Indies football team, right?
But when you look at what is going on with the cricket,
you mean big islands go dominate?
Well, not that dominate, but even the persons that you may want to put at the helm to direct and to move this thing forward. We have some stubborn-headed persons who figure they know it all, right? And they're not open to different ideas and suggestions from, a wider pool. And that's a problem with cricket, you know. You know, once that people want to dominate, as there always been, and it's not opening up, and so on, you know. But yeah, you'll get the best players out of the different islands and so. But then you have those countries who would feel that, look, we advanced, we have either been there or we high up in the rankings and so we should have more players. But hey,
well, yeah, it ain't what happen anyhow. So.
It won't happen. And
it would have been nice.
Yeah.
It would have been nice. The West Indies football team,
but then, when the West Indies
especially since Trinidad make it on their own, Jamaica make it on their own.
But then, if you look at it, when the West Indies cricket team came on board, most of these islands were not independent islands, you know. You understand? They were not independent politically from Britain or anything like that. They were still colonies. You understand? So, but now everybody has their independence and so, and it's not easy to give up that, to go back, because I am sure if give it to a number of countries and so, they will go it alone in this cricket. You understand? The Jamaica, the Trinidad, the Barbados.
Which other Caribbean team has ever made it to the World Cup outside of Trinidad and Jamaica?
It's possible that Haiti, you know, I'm not sure.
Cuba.
Well, yeah, Cuba, yes.
1938. Let me see if Cuba. Let me see if Haiti has made it.
Check and see Haiti.
I think
Haiti. I know there was ranking at one point in time, you know. But
yeah, Haiti actually made it 1974.
Yeah. Okay, I know. I remember Haiti.
Yeah. We've got a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Yes. Well, really, FIFA don't really recognize like teams, like combined teams. I think they recognize countries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So probably this combined thing, they don't recognize that on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So just individual countries.
Maybe we could make an application for them to make an exception.
No, it wouldn't happen. They recognize individual countries.
Because the United States is several separate states, so now we could
make
that.
We could make that like one country in a sense.
Yeah, but the United States is the United States. It's actually several made up into one, with different laws and so according to which state you're in, just like how we are in the Caribbean. And they have come together, so the United States under one passport, everything, ting.
Well, yeah, when you check, even though you say the passport, it's still a U.S. passport.
Yeah, it's still a U.S. a United States passport.
Right. So then it's not. But when you check it, the Caribbean, you might have St. Vincent, Grenada had their own passport. Everyone had their own.
Well,
so if they recognize only one
you could
country.
Well, you know what? Tell, and in the future that might change.
If we had got through,
in the future that might change. You could never tell, you know.
if we had,
it don't seem like they want to change that.
Nah. People are kind of nationalistic. They want to hold on to the individual things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we had got through with federation, if we had got through with the federation way back, perhaps no, that might have been possible.
You mean so you would have been one?
You understand?
Oh, okay.
But a very good point, though, that FIFA would not recognize that grouping.
Yeah.
A very, very, very important point.
Independent country.
So tell Chris hello for me one time.
Right, man.
Okay.
But no, that wasn't your Chris. That was our next Chris that asked that one. That wasn't your Chris. That was our next Chris that asked that one.
Oh, okay. That was...
Nah, not yours. He busy right now. He getting ready to go and watch the match.
Trembling boots.
My only problem with the English team is this, they win, they riot, they lose, they riot, they draw, they riot still, no matter what. They just riot, and I can't understand that kind of behavior. All I see some of them, they try it in Russia, and all I forget is Russian police are dealing with her.
They are no nonsense mood, eh?
The Russian police ain't laying that, I tell you. They better start to act like the Japanese.
but I think generally, Sheldon, Grenada football, and so led by the Grenada Football Association, right now is in a very good place.
Yeah.
You know, and so good leadership, I think.
Little tweaking here and there needs to be done.
And so
they're not perfect. They're not perfect.
And they are, I could tell you, under the stewardship of Chenny Joseph, the Grenada Football Association had leaped, distance, you know.
But come on, folks, we got to start pushing some money into it. If you really want to see us reach to the World Cup, use that as an avenue to advertise Grenada on the biggest stage next to the Olympics. I think that's it. That's what we need to do.
And I think we also too must congratulate somebody like Wagiti, who has over the last couple of years invested in the promotion of football in Grenada, right? As a businessman, right? And so, right, he has done it, all right. He'll continue doing it in the future, and so on. That goes a long way for football in this country, all right. More football playing, more players being exposed, and everything like that. So we have a larger pool. So hey, I really hope that both WAGIT and the GFA and other entities who want to be part of the whole, you know, enhancement of football, that they come together and you know, and do things to better football. We have they play in the facilities, the grounds, and so just to develop some of them, we have what it takes. Just the support financially we need.
Yeah. 440-7377. It's now 1 minute after the hour of 11 o'clock. If you had to be somewhere at 11 and you're not there yet, you're late. Yeah.
Perhaps you fired too.
Yeah, yeah. And might just had to turn around and go back home.
But I don't think it's that drastic in Grenada.
Some people are.
So well, yes,
some people are.
Some places you do. But
so if you've got to be somewhere for 11 o'clock, you're late. It's 1 minute after the hour of 11 o'clock right now. In fact, by the time you hear that, it will be 2 minutes after the hour 11 o'clock because we have a little delay, right, with what we say on air and when you hear it. Nice. So 440-7377 and the overseas number
347-329-3101.
Devon, a bit of politics though. Yesterday I was listening to the GBN program with Brenda Batiste was the host, and you had Miss Claudette Joseph on, and she was making a point, all I don't really find as a point, but she was making a point saying that because he has decided not to offer himself to be a cabinet minister at this time, that she believes Mr. Anthony Boson should be removed from Parliament.
Why? And she above all is talking that sort of nonsense when she knows that when you go to the poll, you're not going to elect persons to be in cabinet.
Well, let's
anything like that.
Let's be the ones to help educate persons. Although I think the president of the Senate did a wonderful job in exposing the nonsense that she was speaking, and it's being purposely done to mislead persons, because as she for herself said yesterday, she actually was a lecturer in relation to the same issue. She was a lecturer and she taught that particular area. So Miss Claudette Joseph ought to know that when you're speaking about the Constitution of Grenada recognizes the three bodies. You have the legislature, you have the executive, and you have the judiciary. So the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, those are the three arms. The legislature is made up of the people that you vote for and those that are selected by the people that you vote for. In other words, the legislature are the people who create the laws. Yeah, they are the people that put a law in place to say that, look, anybody that interfere with a child, we bringing them in the middle of town in the market square and we flogging them for 2 hours. Yeah, the legislature are the ones who create a law to say that you could do that. They are not the ones to enforce it, but they are the ones to create that law. They are the ones that would sit together and create a law to say that if you throw a piece of paper in town, we're going to charge you $250. Yeah, they could create that law. So when you go to the polls, when you go to vote on election day, and you're voting for a person, and you look at that ballot paper and you're voting for a person, you are only voting for a person to go into the legislature. Right? In fact, you do not vote for a prime minister, you know. You're voting for your individual candidate to go into the legislature or the parliament of the country to represent your interests and your community's interests. Yeah? So when you look at a candidate, you say, I believe this is a person who could help the people in my neighborhood that need assistance with housing. I believe this is a good person who would be able to deal with the issue of drainage in the area, or make sure that those roads going up to the farm are done properly so the guys up there could expand from 5 and 6 acres to 15 acres, planting and so on. So you vote for a person for the legislature. In other words, you vote for your parliamentary representatives as the 15 persons who won on March 13th, you vote for them. The legislature is also made up of the selected senators. Yeah? So the 6 on the government side, the 3 opposition senators, and the 3 representing different interests, the business community, the churches, not the churches, the business community. Well, it could represent any organization really. It's not set in stone. But in this context, it generally represents the labor fraternity, the business community, and the farming community. It could be changed at any time. It doesn't have to be those 3. All right? So you have those senators, right, plus the president of the Senate. So that's 13 senators, right? Plus you have things like the clerk of parliament, the deputy clerk of parliament, the speaker of the House of Representatives, and so. These individuals form the legislature. That's the body that sits and creates laws or revises laws and so on. Yeah? Right. So that's one thing. That is what you vote for on election day and who you vote for. Because I'm sure the people in Southeast, as I said yesterday, didn't go and vote for Honorable Emlyn Pear as Minister of Education. They voted for her because they know that she has done a wonderful job in the constituency and she'll continue to do a wonderful job in the constituency. She's capable. So that's what they voted for. Right. That is one thing. You then have the executive. Now, the executive is made up of the prime minister, and your prime minister is always the person who controls the majority support of the members of the House of Representatives. So says the Constitution of Grenada. Yeah? So the person who has the majority support of the members, not the leader of the political party that won the general election, but the person who has majority support among the persons in the House of Representatives. That is who your prime minister is. Your opposition leader is the person who has majority support among the persons on the opposition side. Yes, so whichever person has the majority support there, they are in the House of Representatives, they are the opposition leader.
In our case, none.
In our case, yeah, that exists, right? We do have that for
10 years now.
Yeah, we had that. But that is what the opposition leader is. Outside of that, right? But that's also kind of legislature. But on the executive side now, you have your prime minister, you have your government ministers, you have your parliamentary secretaries, right? That's in the executive. That's a totally different thing. In fact, you know, it is possible for a party to win the general election, and most of the executive, most of the ministerial portfolios can be taken up by persons who are senators. Yeah. Remember, you have 6 on that side, and you could make all 6 ministers. So the majority of persons holding ministries, if you want to combine ministries and so, could be taken up by senators. Not people that people went out and vote for, but competent and capable people that you have selected. You say, well, I know this person is very competent in this area, and I'm going to ask this person to run that particular ministry. And you bring them in as a senator and you give them that opportunity. But nobody didn't vote for them. So I fail to understand how a person carrying a law degree, who would have read inside out the Constitution of Grenada, would make such a foolish statement, a blunder like that. Yeah? It is up to the prime minister to decide to look at the executive. So the prime minister makes his recommendations to the governor general for the governor general to appoint various persons into ministerial portfolios. Right? That is not what the people don't go and vote for this person as minister of that, or vote for that person as minister, because you don't know until when the prime minister releases in every country in the region here. But until the prime minister you're going and swearing, and sometimes when you're swearing in is when you know. Yeah. In nearly every case is when you're swearing in and you hear the person name call and you hear the ministry behind it, that is when you know. Because the prime minister has that power. But as Senator Humphrey made the point yesterday, there is also the checks and balances of the powers of the prime minister. Because remember, he can only be prime minister if he has the majority support of the members of the House of Representatives. So if the majority of the members of the House of Representatives decide, well, wait now, that man ain't bothering with us, he went and he takes 6 people in the Senate and make them ministers and he leave us out, and we wanted a ministerial portfolio also, they can file a motion of no confidence, and once you have a significant number of them, he can be removed as prime minister. So there's the motion of no confidence that is the check in there. So in case anything, you end up in a situation where you have a prime minister that just want to run roughshod and do what he want to do and just forget people and all kind of thing, that he can be removed by the members of the House of Representatives. So it's not a simple thing as that.
But also, too, within that, the Prime Minister has also some powers. Like, for example, a motion of no confidence is moved against him. It may be tabled and so, but he also has the option either to resign or to prorogue Parliament and call fresh elections.
Example, 1999. Prime Minister Mitchell decided that he's going to call a general election. Yeah, he called a general election. You remember what happened with that one? First 15 seats.
Yes, a similar thing was,
you have the
happening to...
3 days. You have 3 days within which you can dissolve and call a general election. Yeah? So there was a similar situation, yes. 1999 would have been a similar situation like that.
It almost happened to Tillman Thomas.
It would have happened to Tillman Thomas if they used to open Parliament. He'd have get, but he afraid. He didn't open. Why he didn't open Parliament? He didn't know what he's open. He should have opened it. Carl Hood was waiting on him. Michael Church was waiting. He should have opened. He didn't know.
Peter again. Peter save him again. Peter save him again.
Yeah. And was Peter thanks for that? They go and hold a rally up in St. Andrew and say they get rid of them.
And cut it short.
Yeah, that's what they went and do. Folks, 440737. So I just thought it important. And then there's the third arm, which is the judiciary. That's the judges. And you realize the judiciary is separate from the others. So the judiciary, that's the judges and the magistrates and all these people who enforce the laws that are put in place by the legislature. So the legislature legislates. It creates laws. The judiciary, they apply law. So you send the law down, that becomes law. A policeman find you guilty of something, or you're found guilty of something, or you bring a civil matter, and then the judiciary looks at the situation, they look at the case itself, they look at the law, and then they apply the law to it. Yeah? And if our dear sister doesn't know that, then she need to go and give back the law degree wherever she get it. Anyway.
But not only that, she basically cheating her clients. Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Devon. How are you?
Not too bad, my friend.
All right. I just hear Sheldon say something. Sheldon, not sure. He said that Claudia Joseph read the Constitution. You're not sure she read that Constitution?
No, she read it to them because she represented the NDC the last time on the Constitutional Reform Committee, and she is representing them again this time around. And part of that, she would have had to read the existing Constitution. She did say yesterday that she also taught, not constitutional reform, she taught something in relation to the Constitution and that sort of thing in school before. And she's also qualified, I think, in constitutional law or something like that. So she has no excuse. No excuse, my brother.
All right.
Yeah, so you need to go and give back that degree. All right.
But you see, some of us could read, you know. Some of us could say we do something, but we we open book and look at pictures and things, you know. And look at headlines too.
Man.
Take my word for it, you know.
Yes, yeah, you're correct, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
All right, have a good one, man. Good program.
All right, thank you.
Right.
But it's important for people to understand that legislature and children at home right now, because this may come up in an exam, a civics exam or so. Legislature, executive, judiciary. The three arms. Yeah? Nice.
You see, persons like Claudia Joseph and them, they continue to deliberately deceive and mislead the average Grenadian person who may not have the opportunity to read and to understand our Constitution and so. So they continue trying to put things over their eyes as to what it said, you know, for their own convenience, and so they continue to tweak and twist the Grenada Constitution. This is a shame, though.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, morning.
Morning.
Yeah. So, Sheldon, so that song strange to all you with what she does be saying on the radio?
No, it's not strange. She
has a job. She does be doing all the time.
You had to call it out when you hear it.
Yeah, she has a job to do, and I think she's doing it good.
I mean, it doesn't be strange now because I heard her and I realized was something or kind of do, she talking, but she accustomed doing that.
Deliberately, right?
When she speak, you mightn't really realize that she have some degree in what she does be saying.
I would expect that statement from somebody who did use a lecture in that on those issues, the area of constitutional law or law in itself. I would expect that statement from somebody who is not au fait with those areas, not somebody who's supposed to know better.
Who tell you she should know better?
She's supposed to know better.
Well, is not really.
No, she is. If she was teaching that particular issue and she was teaching civics, she's supposed to know better.
What do you want to say now? That she telling untruth?
But it is untruth. It just, why should he have to resign because he has decided? And who says you have 5 years in office? Who says for the entire 5 years he'd be out? Next thing, there's a need for him, and the Prime Minister makes a reshuffle, and he decides that, look, at this point in time, I am calling on Mr. Anthony Boson. As you speak to him and he say, I'm calling on Mr. Anthony Boson to hold a portfolio here for a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it is. Nothing is stopping that from happening in the future. So I don't understand why it's this big sort of thing about, he's not holding a portfolio and he should be. That's one of the most dirty statements of 2018.
Come up about Miss Franca. She didn't run, and she get a post.
But that's what I'm saying, that senators...
So then she started to make some little excuse there and there still.
Because senators can hold ministerial portfolios. They can hold ministerial portfolios, such as a full minister, minister of state, a parliamentary secretary. They can hold those portfolios. So, I mean, it offers the opportunity for the prime minister, who is the head of government, to be able to select persons outside of his House of Representatives who can then come into the Senate, who may have certain capabilities that can be used for the benefit of the country. So there's nothing stopping that. All right, my brother?
Okay, bye.
All right.
All right, take care.
Yeah, because we realize where you're trying. Your political leader is now the person that going up against Mr. Boson. So you feel now if you go and you attack Mr. Boson, that he tree low, so you could pick him and go easy. So you want to go and attack Mr. Boson now, feel that you're going to improve the chances of your political leader. Come on, we understand that is what you're trying to do. All right, Claudette? We know that is what you're trying to do. You ain't fooling us. There's hard talk. You can't fool us. So we know that is what you're trying to do. That your political leader is now Joseph Andal. And Joseph Andal is the person that just get licks from the second time from Mr. Anthony Boson. And therefore, you want to create a little avenue for him just in case. Just in case. Although in my view, he should have followed the leader, follow the leader.
No, well, I mean,
that's all your business.
That's just ceremonial, and I always keep saying.
Because we know Nas go try and come back anyhow. So
because they have two choices. They would have two choices up to this point.
No, but there are children. This is summertime, and there are children at home listening these programs. And it is irresponsible of anybody who is supposed to be educated and degreed in these areas to be making such nonsensical statements. Watch. You are miseducating our nation.
Watch. Let me tell you something about Claudette Joseph. She loves all sorts of tea. But when it comes to responsibility, she don't love that.
Folks, the phone number 440-777. But you say I'm drinking, you have to choke me.
No, she's not. The responsibility to rightfully educate the people, she's not taking up on that. She's drinking all kind of bush tea, all kind of thing. But that responsibility to continue educating people, she's not.
And let me say this. I listened to the argument in relation to the CCJ. Now, the NDC, nearly to a man, they're saying that they support the CCJ. They support the Caribbean Court of Justice. They support it. In other words, they believe that it is a good thing for Grenada.
And it's the best
as
thing
regionalists. As regionalists, they understand. They know that it is a good thing for Grenada. But I mean, what do I mean to have a but?
Conjunction.
If it's a good thing for Grenada, I'm going to get into this a little thing.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning. You're live, caller. Go right ahead. You're live. Go right ahead.
Okay. I was trying to say, I hear you always talking about the football thing.
Yes, we were, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is in the 70s, we had one of the best coach in Grenada. His name was August Uta, and we had a very strong team. But what you all bring up in the lines of professional, I decided to just call and say, well, thank you for what you all is saying now concerning how the players should be more professional.
Yeah, we need to create that opportunity for the professional players, that a guy should be able to make a living off of playing football here in Grenada or outside of Grenada. Yeah,
well,
not having to go and do construction.
I agree to that because in those times, Grenada could have field at least 3 national teams and beat anybody, but they're not recognized.
Yeah.
People like Alistair Telesford, they had Big Dog, they had Jackson, they had Heads, they had a few George from Victoria, people like Sampat, you know them, and the best goalkeeper in the whole Caribbean, and up to this day I haven't seen anybody do as much as he did, was Paul Roberts. You getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good. So,
yeah. I believe you, but I think while we had the skill, the structure wasn't there.
Yeah, I would like you all to. I like the program you all carrying on with. So I still would like to wish that they could go further, because as you see, you had to have, if you had to have a national football team, you had to have men playing football every day, and not having to go and raise blocks and then come and practice two hours, them kind of thing.
It's
You
unfair.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's unfair.
So you have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. And you see, the thing is that to get to the level of a Lionel Messi or whichever one of the major players you have out there, there's a lot of things that go into that, and it's not just a man just get up and he go and he reach there. Yeah, these guys have specific diets that they are on. They have their regular medical checkups, and so some of the guys who play in football in Grenada, when last they go by a doctor and do a checkup, they just find a plane and are healthy. But when last they actually go by a doctor, when last did a team go for a medical checkup as a team, a full battery of medical tests to make sure everything is okay with them? Yeah? I'm sure no team could call and say that they're doing that. Maybe not even the national team could say that they just do a full battery of medical tests with the various football players and so on. Yeah, you need to do these things. We have to be professional with it to get to that level.
Yeah, that last caller, he made a point with August Uta, the coach, late 70s, early 80s. He was able to create different divisions of footballers within Grenada. At one point in time, he rightly said we could have filled 3 or 4 national teams at different levels because of how he organized it. And that was only one coach. Now imagine a coach like him with the support that you have now with headquarters, with additional staff. I think Grenada, I mean,
we still do have the money.
Well, yeah, the money.
We need the money.
The money
would not get into the World Cup without that money. You know, you could have all the talent in the world. You're not reaching to the World Cup without it.
What I'm saying, if the talent is there and you have good persons managing, the money will come. The money will come. You know, through governments, through private individuals, and so.
Remember, government could only become so involved and that you could get through.
Yeah, I mean, but if
the association, they cannot have too much government involvement. Cannot have government involvement.
Yeah, but what I'm
officially
saying, if the association and government are in thing, and any government who sees the potential of any of its national team, right, ought to have that. That goal to support as much as it can, because I mean, you know,
facilities, training, incentives, assistance, that kind of thing.
You know,
nice, yeah.
So
you know, like 2 houses in Westerhall Point, and tell them fellas, the person that scored the most goals for Grenada on the way to the World Cup, you won't get a house. You'll get a house in Westerhall Point, or give you one in some other exclusive area, or create an exclusive area and all kind of thing. You know, we had to do thing.
And again, the petty squabbling among the different clubs and the associations and that sort of thing has to stop.
Well, Deepo is saying before money, passion. Well, before passion, fruit. Because they had to eat proper too. Yeah, but I was talking about the CCJ before we went back onto the football. And folks, you can call in on any one of the issues. Now, the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, is going to be the court that, for instance, you look at Barbados, they just had their election. There were issues with the electoral process coming up to the general election. They were able, within, I think it was 72 hours, within 72 hours, they were able to get a judgment through the CCJ on the technicalities of the electoral process. Some individuals who were from other countries, Commonwealth citizens residing in Barbados, who were being debarred from registering to vote. And these persons under the Barbados law were eligible to be registered to vote and were being barred from registering to vote. And that was knocked out in the Caribbean Court of Justice in 72 hours. Yeah, if it had to go to the Privy Council, you'd have been waiting on the judgment still. You might end up with it. Yeah, you'd have been waiting on the judgment still. You would not be getting it immediate. You would have still be waiting on the judgment. And then the people who brought the case would have to send people to update. Now, let's say it's Grenada. And the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, wants to make a challenge, in relation to some part of the electoral process. And it has to go to the final court, the final appellate jurisdiction, which means it has to go to the Privy Council. That means that in whichever election is taking place, that election going to come, that election going to finish, and then you're going to have the judgment come back in relation to that, because they will not speed up their process just because you have a general election going on in your little country. 133 square miles, over 8,000 miles away from them.
They don't care.
They ain't really care.
They frustrated of us being in the court anyways.
So you could have your general election. That is your business. You ask them to test a bit of law and to weigh in on it, and they're going to do it. Yes, they'll do it, but they're going to take the time in doing it. While the Caribbean Court of Justice understands that, hey, this is an election. This needs to happen before the election in Grenada, and therefore we will bring a judgment on it. In other words, the NDC is speaking about electoral reform, saying that there are various things that need to be reformed. They wasn't saying that after 2008. But anyhow, they're saying that there are various aspects of electoral law that need to be addressed. Now, in my mind, I would try to set up the court, which is the Caribbean Court of Justice, as your final court of appeal, so that if you have an electoral issue, if you find something wrong is taking place, you bring it to the CCJ, so that you could speed up the process for whichever thing that you think going wrong with the electoral process. I wouldn't think you're going to say, well, let me fix the electoral process first, because if you agree that the CCJ is the proper thing, the proper way to go, which means that you believe that people should vote yes for the CCJ, I don't see how you think that the electoral process is going to some way or somehow shade the entire process, the constitutional reform process. It makes no sense to me. I would think that you would want to go and support the CCJ now, get that in place, and then look at electoral reform. Because now you have a court that you could easily access from right here in Grenada. Within hours, you can access that court and get your judgment in relation to any issue. I would have thought that's the way to go. Yeah. So I'm failed to understand, although reason seems to be void from that leadership in that party anyway. Seems to be
they're yearning for that.
Yeah, when it comes to sense and thing that doesn't be around there sometimes. I just believe they suffer from a serious case of cognitive dissonance, right? So when you listen to them, you try to understand, but this ain't making any sense. Put the Caribbean Court of Justice in place, and then if you have any electoral issues, for instance, a day before election you have an issue, you could bring it up with the Caribbean Court of Justice. They're going to have an emergency sitting and deal with it the day before election. You cannot get that from the Privy Council.
Nope.
And you keep saying it. Your political leaders said it. In fact, every one of them have come out and said that they support it. You've been hearing it as a position of the party that they support the Caribbean Court of Justice. So I fail to understand why they would come and say no, but fix electoral reform before. Because you could use the Caribbean Court of Justice to fix electoral reform.
But this is what one of the things that they're doing, They basically laying the foundation, so when close to November come, they basically going to rally and tell a section of the Grenadian people don't support the CCJ. That is what they're planning. I can feel it. That is what they're going to do and plan. right? And so and figure that they would succeed. And so, you know, they are not basically putting out, you know what, man.
No, but they're not making sense. I'm trying to understand. Okay. You're telling me put a law in place before you put the court in place to deal with the law? So there's the Wild West. So you go in and hang a man, and after you hang the man, you go in and put the court, you go in and bring him to the courthouse. After you don't hang him already, you go in and bring him to the courthouse and say, well, now we have a trial. Put the court in place before you put the law in place. That's what's making more sense to me. Put the court in place, because if you're creating law, the law has to go to a court. Put the court in place, and then you deal with the law. Why watch? Common sense is so common. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Sheldon and Devon.
Morning.
I just saying good morning.
Morning,
Yes,
Cammy.
You see Beverly again?
I see them listening. Bye-bye.
All right.
She got one time.
Morning to all them busmen and them day. Yeah, right around by Cammy, and to all the busmen around the Grenada who listen to us, who not listen to us. And so, but hey, just hear of our program. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to the vendors in the different marketplaces around the island. And so the shopkeepers and the store owners, and so the business people. Good morning to you, and we hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah.
And the phone number, just in case you want to weigh in, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of today's program. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, the CCJ, it is so important for us as a country and as a people within the Caribbean to speak with one voice legally. We must be governed, right, and managed by one legal system, right? So we speak with one language, and so it's about time. It's about time that we do that, and let's not try beating around the bushes and trying to discourage people in your own way not to support the CCJ.
Okay, remember, even if you're speaking, as I've said before, copyright infringement, the CCJ can deal with the issues of copyright infringement. And listen, copyright infringement is not just a man that do a song, or somebody that do a movie, or somebody that do a painting. Copyright infringement could be your own image as well. For instance, you cannot take a photo of Kirani James and print some t-shirts and sell them in town, because you are actually infringing on his copyright. Yeah, that's his image. So you can't just decide, I'm going to print some t-shirts with Kirani James' face on it and sell them all over the place. That's copyright infringement. Yeah? So the CCJ can deal with issues regarding copyright infringement and that sort of thing. Because your face might not be famous now, but you might do something in the future and your face become famous, and it's copyrighted.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, morning.
Morning, Sheldon.
Morning, my dear.
You and Devon, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, we did.
We did with them, you know.
Eh?
We did with them.
I did.
All right.
I'm listening to the program and I enjoying it.
All right, my dear.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
by myself and I enjoying the program. Very good program.
And remember, remember this: legislature, judiciary, executive. The three different arms of government, right?
Yeah.
Nice, right.
Yeah, enjoying the program. A very good program. And this woman, Claudia Joseph, tell her she had to wheel and come again.
All right, my dear.
Tell her she had to wheel and come again.
Let me ask, which area you're calling from?
I'm calling from Riverside in St. Patrick's.
Yeah, you see, you was right, you know.
Yeah, I was right. I know it was St. Patrick's.
All right, but yeah, well, I confirm is who I thought it was now. All right. I confirm is who I thought it was that call now.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Riverside, good morning.
And I could tell you that because you know why? There's a friend of mine who we trained together in the military, and he has that accent. He's right there.
It can't hide.
It can't hide. You know? So you see,
it's beautiful. I love it.
Oh man, you see in Grenada, every single village, or almost every village or parish you go, you have a different dialect in terms of how persons would, you know, you hear, say, oh, that person from there.
And we have some calypso and thing. I have some rootsman Kelly there. I have one by a fella. A lot of people know there. Let me touch a little piece of a song there in between.
Girl, you tempting me. Get you
right on the beat. Put the song on repeat. Let me sing to this girl. You know that I'm watching you.
Let's say good morning to you, Burbis.
Yeah.
And I'm losing concentration. You're watching me too. And you're smiling. Girl, you know you are temptation. You got a mischievous look on your face, girl.
Good morning to you, Tiffany. Yeah, I know when your name becomes Tiffany, but good morning, Tiffany. Short man, morning.
Yeah.
Hey, today's soup day by Short Man. Yeah, today's soup day by Short Man. Correct? Yeah, today's soup day by Short Man. I'll pass by Travelers Bar.
You don't have no fish soup, man.
Yeah, you ain't taking fish. They're doing fish in the evening time. Yeah.
Short man, Friday. Short man.
You have to talk to Yvette and all that.
All right.
They did fish after you went for you, because you said you would have come back, so they do your fish for you. They had fish there for you.
No, they said there was four.
Yeah, they had fish there.
Yeah, but that four I had to, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, no problem. Let me say a special good morning to Muscles as well.
You have been wondering if I...
Muscles, they calling it Chupidi again. Good morning to you, Muscles. And let me say good morning to the Kunumunu himself. The original Mr. Kunumunu. Mr. Kunumunu. Wait, good morning.
Kunumu.
Yes, Kunumunu. Yeah, folks, I still try to understand the position that you're for the CCJ, but you're just not. If you're for the CCJ, you're going to tell folks vote yes. You're going to support it fully. Because the CCJ is miles better for the issues that you're raising of concern. The CCJ is miles better in dealing with those issues. Yeah, it's miles better. So I want to see if you're going to twist them out now and say that they don't support the CCJ, or if you're going to say that the court that should be put in place to deal with the issues that you're raising, that you shouldn't put that court in place.
But Sheldon,
so how are you going to deal with issues?
That's why, Grenadians, the majority of Grenadians and people know that these people are not genuine. Man. They're not. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, we're there.
Sheldon.
Yes, we're hearing you. Go right ahead.
What? I have a bus man here. He have a bus to sell. I sell van. So anybody interested, they could check. His name is Papa. What is his name? Papa, I think is his name.
Hold on.
$15,000 for the sales van.
Papa, what?
You have a sales van. Anybody interested, they could check me out.
Papa, what is his name?
You understand for his number?
Okay.
A sales van.
So check Kami.
You need a van to sell to buy school books.
You working on commission, Kami?
For them children.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
For me, please. I know they're hearing me. A sales van, $15,000. What is the name again?
Check Kami.
Papayo.
All right.
Man, brother.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Papayo. A sales van, and it's a good sales van. Thank you very much.
All right, but Kami, you always have it legit today. Yeah. So you get your sales van. Yeah. Check Kami at the terminal. So now, you know the getting bag for bus. You only getting thing to drink. You only getting clothes and shoes and cosmetics and so on. You're getting a bus. Kami, you're a salesman.
Hey, Kami working on commission. That's important. That's a good thing.
15 grand. Yeah, let's check out. Check out Kami.
Yeah, salesman.
Yeah. So folks, remember, I support the CCJ, and I will encourage everyone when the time comes later this year to vote for the Caribbean Court of Justice, yes or no. I ain't even looking at the no part. I'm saying vote yes. I support it, and I know that it will be a good thing, not just for Grenada, but for the region as well, because there are going to be, for instance, when it came to Barbados and the instance of Miss Myrie, where she would have left Jamaica and she went into Barbados and she was treated unfairly on arriving in Barbados, she was able to bring her case to the Caribbean Court of Justice. In the same token, it's going to be able to help a Grenadian who travels to another country and ends up in a similar situation. Suppose one of us is going to Barbados, we have to go to Barbados too. Suppose we're going there to go and get our visa and so on, and we end up in situation. I remember a situation with a family a few years ago.
Two young ladies and their family. I think Sir August Ferguson is on that case with them.
Yeah.
So it can happen to you. It's right in your face.
Yeah.
It can happen.
So I fail to understand how some people can be saying, let us not go into the Caribbean Court of Justice at this time. Let us focus on the electoral reform, when the Caribbean Court of Justice would be the perfect place to deal with the issues that come out of the electoral reform. Yeah, and with all the noise that has been made about different aspects of the electoral process, at this point, have you heard the NDC file a single case in the courts or to the supervisor of election or to anybody about something wrong that happened at the last election? They keep going and saying, well, nobody ain't stepping. Well, I mean, come on. Nobody ain't stepping forward. You mean you had 20-something thousand people that vote for you? Out of that 20-something thousand people, nobody willing to step forward and say that something wrong happened during the electoral process or election day or whatever it is. 20-something thousand people, not one would stand up with something wrong with all you.
You see, well, I want to continue to advise everyone.
Advise not vote.
Those of you who understand, right, more than others, let's help educate and teach each other about the CCJ. Let us share information. Let us gather as much information as we can and share it with our neighbors. Let them understand that the good, right, we can get out of the CCJ. Let us not take that for granted, because this is a decision will eventually affect, right, our families, our future, of this country for generations to come.
Yeah, because this is going to affect several things. Look how seriously the Americans are taking their court. Right now, if you're looking at CNN, you're looking at Fox News, you're looking at ABC, you're looking at NBC, you're looking at MSN. It's even over on Al Jazeera, and that is an American station. It's all over where they're dealing with President Trump's potential appointment to the United States Supreme Court. And whether it's going to, because those justices, they stay there until either they die or they resign. You can't fire them. So it's either they're dead or they resign, right? So as it is right now, it's sort of balanced, that you have some that were put in by the Democrats, some that were put in by the Republicans. So there's an even thought process when they're looking at a piece of law, the conservative and the liberal views in relation to issues like abortion and so on. But what they're fearing now is that the person who is stepping down, who was sort of half liberal, half conservative, or even-minded individual,
Kennedy,
and he's stepping aside now, that you're going to have someone that comes in that is fiercely conservative and fiercely over to the right. And as such, that the judgments coming out of the Supreme Court are going to be skewed in one direction. So a lot of people in the United States are worried. They're trying everything possible to try and stall the process of Trump making that appointment or shooting down whoever it is that he puts. And when I say shooting down, I mean like take gun and shoot it. No, nothing like that. Don't go and report me to the United States. I never said that, right? But getting rid of any nominee. And let me change that too, because next thing I'll go and say, I say they're going and try to kill the person. Anyway, but making sure the person is not successful, like that's the proper language, as a nominee. You see, that's how to be so politically correct when you say things, right?
Very.
Yeah, as the nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court. They're taking this thing seriously, because if they believe in abortion or they don't believe in abortion, the issue is going to go there.
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, it's going to go there. In fact, they're worried that Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned. That's what a lot of people are worried about when it comes to their rights to carry arms, to carry guns and that kind of thing. Although I think they misunderstand the thing. When things say you have a right to carry arms, as in this, the hand on you, this, that, yeah. But them take it literal and think they mean gun. Nah, they say you have a right to bear arms, so you have a right to put your hand outside. You could wear vests and that kind of thing. That's what I was talking about in the American Constitution. Not this thing with gun. That's how you have the right to bear arms, so you have the right to have your hand outside. Nice. Anyhow,
even the whole gay issue again.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court. I mean, a lot of people are worried.
These things are going to go to the court. The issues like that are going to go to the court. So they are very concerned in relation to the makeup of that court. Meanwhile, some people down here telling you, don't bother with the court, don't bother with the court. Focus on the process of the election process and all that sort of thing. I mean, not because you lose 15-0. That had nothing to do with the process. That had to do with the fact that you were not worthy. And people saw that and people decided that you wouldn't go through. Right? But the same people that voted for you, the 20,000 plus people that voted for you, they will benefit. And you know they'll benefit because that's why you support the CCJ. They will benefit from the CCJ. Yeah? Whether it's they have a small business that comes up with an invention and they need to copyright it or so, or someone tries to steal their patent or that kind of thing, and it has to go to the final court of appeal, that they don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to reach in England, right here in the Caribbean. Knock it off. Sort it out. Get a judgment. Deal with it. Yeah? From people that understand what is going on here. And not just that we have cases that could go to London for next to nothing or nothing for people that kill people. Yeah? But that other issues can be dealt with right here in the Caribbean in a reasonable manner. So don't come telling me about electoral process. The electoral process issues can be raised through the CCJ, but you can't raise it through the CCJ if you don't have the CCJ.
And look, and you know one of the ways it's so important to the average man, to the average family, right, who may have a case in court, whether it's criminal or civil or whatever, and they know that they are denied justice in the sense of, okay, not affording to go to the Supreme, the what you call the court again?
U.S. Supreme Court?
No, the
Privy Council.
The Privy Council. I so want to get rid of it. You understand? I mean, the judgment. Look, when you look at these people, the average person would be given an opportunity through the CCJ, right, to hear their case, right? Whether you're the average poor person or whether you're the rich person, the opportunity is there. It is more easier financially, right? And so you don't have to travel, leave your country if you don't want to get a hearing. So, I mean, we have to take all of that into consideration because, look, we have to ensure that all our people are given the right.
Cognitive dissonance. Making, you're saying one thing, but your actions are doing totally different. There's a dissonance. There's a little kind of split between what you're saying and what you're doing. So I think that organization is suffering from some cognitive dissonance.
They need to.
You cannot say that you're supporting the Caribbean Court of Justice, but you don't want to give the Caribbean Court of Justice the opportunity to deal with the issues that you're raising, and some of the issues may very well be palatable, reasonable issues that you're raising in relation to the electoral process.
And they know that.
But you are being given, you see, what is happening again by certain elements within the organization there is that they are technically falling into the same predicament they put themselves in back in 2016 with the process, when various elements, they could say as much as they want that they didn't go out and tell anybody how to vote. Elements of the NDC were out there, pieces of the NDC were out there telling people vote no, and spinning the entire thing like it was some sort of gay agenda and all this sort of nonsense. That is what was taking place out there. They had people telling people vote no, and what happened? They get 15-0 again, and now they can't have a leader of the opposition.
But even the same Claudia Joseph was on radio and all about TV and show, I mean, discouraging people and trying to put in the whole question of the gay business and thing into the whole thing. I mean, you could have hear them, you know, with the venom and so trying to deny Grenadians the opportunity to do the right thing. I mean, you guys should be ashamed of yourself, right? And you're representing people legally in this country. You should be ashamed.
I have a question for the NDC, though, and it doesn't seem as though I get an answer for that question. Mr. Nazim Burke has resigned as the political leader of the National Democratic Congress. We would like to know if he has also resigned as the constituency caretaker for St. George Northeast.
You wouldn't get that response from them.
We want no inquiring minds would like to know. Mr. Nazim Burke has resigned as the political leader of the National Democratic Congress, in quotation marks for now.
Is he still
but
running?
We would like to know if he has also resigned as the constituency caretaker for St. George North East.
For the NDC.
Yeah? That's what we want to know. Yeah. But we ain't go get that. Yeah, we ain't go find out that.
We will really, really love to know that, you know, because it's important.
But I have to say something, you know, because I find a lot of people jumping on this the gating right now. My personal belief, what a man does a woman do in their bedroom, that is their business. That is my personal thing. You do that in your house, you do that that is your personal business. Because on Judgment Day, brothers and sisters, you're not going to be standing up in front of St. Peter and answering for Sheldon. Sheldon go stand up and answer for Sheldon. Devon go stand up and answer for Devon. Nazim go stand up and answer for Nazim.
Who's St. Peter?
Huh?
Who's St. Peter, why?
St. Peter, right. Not Peter. St. Peter.
Who's St. Peter?
Well, okay. In your case, you ain't going by St. Peter. You going by somebody else.
I want to know who's St. Peter.
No, Devon say he ain't going up. He going down. He going somewhere else. So, but anyhow... You're gonna need some serious air condition where you going, bro. So
I get it down here already. That's what it's all about. That's right here.
But what I'm saying is simply this. On Judgment Day, everybody have to answer for themselves.
Most definitely.
And some of the people, strange enough, why? Sometimes more good to say, good to keep it. But some of the people making some statements there, Papa, you
don't have no defense lawyer when you go in there, you know. No defense lawyer
Let me hush me mouth,
to defend you.
Let me hush me mouth.
Okay.
All I gotta say is some of the people that are making some kind of statements there. You know what thing I learned? People like to self-identify. So a lot of the people that see people and say, Patty boy! And this kind of thing. Is self-identifying because to see them after 12 in the night where they does be. And what they does be doing. Yeah? No, I had to say it. Sorry, I had to say it. Yeah? I ain't call name.
The truth needs no defense.
I ain't call no name. But the fellas that has be there and quick to call people Batty Boy and these kind of names and interfere with people. Yeah? And in nearly every single case, that bullying. Yeah? The bullying and that kind of behavior. It's to see them after 12 in the night. It's to see where they're going and who they're going with and what they're going and do. But they like to open them out and call people all kind of name.
They're insecure, man. They lower self-esteem. So they're trying to put you to their level.
Yeah, so
they refer to you as
they have to careful. Yeah. So they have to care. But let me hush me mouth, eh? Hush me mouth. Because next thing I go and say something, I have to sorry for it. Let me go and hush me mouth. I ain't get sued yet. Let me try and keep it so. All I go say is some of them need to check themselves before they wreck themselves. Yeah. They like to go and call people names. They like to go and say things about people. They like to interfere with people and so on. Then when you hear... Anyway, let me go to the phone line. I'll find a safe Let me go to the phone line. Oh, gosh.
You see me, that way I always do. I just try my best. Before I tell you to take out that thing in your eye, I just look in my eye first.
Yeah, boy, next thing you're serious, you're
yeah, and I will try and take out all of mine and then say, boy, you have a good thing in your eyes.
That's what we say for a long time, yampy. Yes, folks. Yes, Patricia, I do agree. We will be running TV and radio tidbits of information, read the benefits of the CCJ. So you will be getting some information on that starting ASP as soon as possible. You're going to be getting a lot of information in relation to the CCJ and that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's that some people playing high and mighty and all kind of thing, and them is, oh, this guy is at that, and this woman is at that, and this one is at that, and that one is at that, and all kind of thing. And when you do hear the cry, Papa, you.
Yeah. And some of them too, when you see they talking and they gallivanting and doing all kind of thing, and you see them in nice thing, don't envy them, you know.
Get busy.
Don't envy
sorting
them.
Out your own life and stop trying to sort out other people's lives. Some of all you want to walk all your life and run somebody else's own. Sort out your own life. Right? What they say, move the beam from your own eye.
Yes.
That's what you just said.
Yes.
Move the beam out of your own eye before you go on.
Before you point and tell me.
This Grenada, take the yampi out of your own eye. Go and wash your thing here.
Not the yampi, the kakaji.
Kakaji, right.
The kakaji out of your
go
eye.
And get the kakaji out of your own eye before you go and tell the next man about you. You understand?
Yours full.
Sometimes you think the kakaji is seen on the man's eye. Next thing is your eye, the kakaji block up.
Your reflection of you.
Yeah.
It's like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Right? So be careful.
Get the enamel basin, get a look of water and thing and go on. No, not the posy, the enamel basin. There's a different utility. Right? You're going and get your enamel basin and wash your face. Sort out the yampi. Well, not the yampi, it's a kakaji.
Kakaji.
Sort out the kakaji. Boy.
Take out the kakaji in your eye.
If you're really knowing, when you convert that into English, what you're really saying it, but anyhow.
I know. In other words, you're taking out the mess from your eyes. The dirt, the filth, from your eyes before you point to me and tell me. Because if you don't take out yours, how can you see mine? I mean, you know, but
sometimes,
hey,
boy, sometimes there's nothing but what good to say, good to keep.
yes, it's good to keep. And
What
so,
good to say, good to keep. I say, just as I buy it. I think somebody called it.
Good morning.
Boss, you've been on already, so you have exact. Hello.
Anybody.
Hello.
Hey,
You have 30 seconds because you've already been on for the day. 30 seconds.
Yeah, anybody that deny, anybody from voting no against the CCJ, these people, they don't care and they love people. Right? Because CCJ is easier access to people. And when you have a case and then to go and you have to go to Supreme Court and can you write money, that means you deny justice. With the CCJ, you will get justice. I want to say to Grenadian people, vote yes for the CCJ because it is easy access to each and everyone. Thank you.
All right. Hey, folks, one thing I just remember as well. Remember, you cannot apply for your passport this week, eh?
yeah, this week, forget that.
So if you're on your way to go and apply for your passport, you can't go today.
Wait until Monday.
They're not taking any applications for passport this week. If you applied last week, you pay everything and you brought your documents, you could collect it this week, but they're not taking applications for passport this week. They're going to start from?
The 16th.
Right, which is Monday. They're going to start taking applications on Monday again. Also remember, good morning, Mr. Sital. Yeah. Also remember that the Spice Mass Corporation Groovy semi-finals, well, quarterfinals, is going to be taking place this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Watch, go all the nights because every single night have a lot of big artists there. And fellas, bring your lady. Yeah, go and make a nice little jam. Yeah, it's the Groovy prelims. So you're gonna have a lot of nice tune and thing to hold it. Boy, Major Dixon there, you know. Major Dixon there.
What they singing?
Boy, I go find out. I go in all nights. Yeah. But Major Dixon go be there, and you know that man. Watch, yeah.
Major Dixon is a man. He has the voice. He has chain there too.
Yeah, man. Where Michelle?
Where Michelle?
Where Michelle? Where Michelle? Bring back Michelle.
Chain.
Yeah,
that
man.
is, you know.
Major Dixon. People wonder who's Major Dixon. Let me remind all. Who's Major Dixon? Let me remind.
This one called Bamba Vibration, you know. Yeah, small. If you see all them women getting on, drinking rum and burning down. I went to a party to free up my mind. As a music man, I go to have a good time. Everyone in the party getting down like some of them women lost their mind. Some of the party.
Yeah, that's not what he's singing this year. I haven't gotten this tune for this year, but
I love how this man arranged that piece, man. It's a classic.
And it's a family thing, you know, because Major Dixon is also somewhat related to Jermaine Simon, and it's like a whole family thing. So it's a musical family, yeah. Karakou, we know you all proud of your boy, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's his tune from last year. That's not his tune for I'll get his tune for this year. I think I have it somewhere around. I'll find it.
But this one is a classic.
Yeah, Major Dixon. I'm looking out for another friend of mine, man. It's a man I like to hear bad. I'm looking out for him this year, you know. This man.
Don't watch me so. Don't watch me so. Don't watch me so. Afraid your eyes. What did you happen to you?
Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk for today, huh?
Good booty. Move it, man. Come on. Hey! Cut it back, girl. Don't hold it back. Shake it back, girl. Don't hold it.
Mr. West.
I am this
the Westerner. I'll show you. What? Yeah. Knowing Mr. West. What your name is Ezekiel or Hezekiah? I think. Knowing Hezekiah. He must be coming out with something.
Boom. Darling. I don't mind, girl. You don't fat, but you're thick. But you used to be bigger than that, baby.
I just love this guy.
You don't fat, but you're thick.
folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, and we are heading out of here. We'd like to thank all of the stations for joining us today. 97.5 City Sound FM.
89.5 CRFM.
92.9 Sisters in Karakou, if they came on.
Yeah, and 94.9 We Vibes Radio in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, indeed. We also like to thank all of the callers who joined us today, all of the listeners, all of you who contributed in whichever way to the program. Of course, our technical man, always at the tip of his fingers right there for us, Nazim Benjamin in studio with us, and of course our mascot right now, the lizard.
The lizard. Wait,
he's somewhere around.
Yeah, the lizard.
Right now, ensuring that no mosquito biting us and that kind of thing. Lizard handling business inside here right now. You understand? So folks, we're going to head out and we're going to give you a little piece of Mr. West to head out again, touching it once again.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.